Yeah, hi guys. Quick look over some trades that we took yesterday, um, and see where we're at here. We're in these Euro Swiss, pound dollar, pound Swiss, Aussie yen shorts, and New Zealand yen shorts. We have exited our pound yen, Aussie yen, and New Zealand yen for a profit here, but we've decided we're not going to hold to the target. We'll try to come back there next time. The reason for this is simple. I'll get to that in a minute. But just a quick look here. We know the pound weight is up. Now remember the truth is this. These are the numbers. Okay, this what we're looking at here is not the numbers. Okay, this is an illusion. Price. This moving average is drawing a trend line, essentially marking price as it moves up in in numbers. It's recording it for us. Okay, this is simply an X and Y axis. So they could have it this way instead. Instead of doing candlesticks, actually let's do it this way. 1 second. File, new chart. Okay. Why? Okay, all we need to know is the open, high, low, closed, current price, and the period separators. So these are just numbers. They could draw, instead of having candlesticks, right? They can have, instead of individual candlesticks, they can have uh, these. Okay, they could also have these. Okay, and they could have another one. Okay, this is how ridiculous it is. Think about it. And we'd all make up stories as price comes up, and there'll be another one here. So instead of the candlesticks, it's all these peculiar shapes. So obviously you know what these are, but I'm not going to say the word for the purpose of YouTube. And we would make excuses as to why price bounced off a COCK, and we'd believe it. And if it didn't work, we'd make up another excuse for next time and call it another thing, you know, make up excuses. That's what we do to justify our addictions. So remember, all of this is an illusion. However, we can use the moving averages to record our numbers and get an idea of what's going on here. We're in buys on pound dollar because we know the weight is up, and we're in buys on pound Swiss because we know the pound pound weight is up. The Swiss weight is up too, though, but that will give us pullbacks. If they're both up, we'll see a pullback. If you read this, only non-profitable longs will need to liquidate, sell ASAP. Swiss weight is up. But even with the Swiss weight up, it forced a pullback. Because if everyone is long, right, from back here on this moving average, they're all making money. in the pound index collectively. So they're long, they're long, they're long, they're long, they're long, right? Okay, it's up, they're making money. Okay, but here they're down, so the sellers are making money, the buyers are losing. So what's happening is the only sellers who are making money in the pound index collectively will have to liquidate their positions to pay back to offset the losses on the other side, if that makes sense. Because those guys are all short, so the sellers in pound Swiss who are making money and are happy are all short pound Aussie, pound New Zealand, pound yen, etc. But they're losing on those because they're collectively up. So they have no choice but to liquidate these positions. So that's why we're seeing this pullback now in Swiss. It's the same for the euro. We'll move over to the euro. 1 second. All right, so same deal here. Euro weight collectively is up. We look at the 4,000 moving average. That's our balance moving average. Euro, obviously, the euro longs are now not profitable. The euro shorts are profitable on euro Swiss, but the euro shorts are losing on the rest of them. So their only profitable trade currently is the euro Swiss, right? As we just view these three here. So if the euro Swiss is profitable on the short side, but the rest of them aren't, well, they're going to have to liquidate those because they can't sustain the rest of it, right? I hope this makes sense. I think people are understanding what I'm talking about here. Imagine if you think you're a buyer on euro Swiss, right? Well, are you also a buyer on euro yen? Are you also a buyer on euro CAD, euro pound, and all the rest of them? Because that's how we need to be looking at this. All right. So here is the same deal here. So we're happy to buy that because we know that euro weight is up. There's going to be some strength. If the euro weight was down, I would look for one which is a weighted up to go against the Swiss instead of taking this. For instance, New Zealand is kind of chop / down, so I would prefer not to take the buy in New Zealand Swiss, even though it's going to go up at that point. Okay, that's why. So euro's up. Let's go to the next index. We're looking. I want to show you the Aussie yen and the New Zealand yen trades next. I think we've got the Swiss part of this established, but actually before we move on, let's look at the Swiss index collectively quickly just to confirm the Swiss weight is up. Okay, Swiss weight up, right? Index up, so we know right away. Against the yen up, CAD Swiss down because it's the other way. So we'd expect that to be down as CAD comes prior to Swiss, for anyone new here. Same deal with pound Swiss, same deal with euro Swiss. Okay. So we're expecting these now to come up, even though it looks like it's breaking the rules. But we are allowed to do this given what we've just discussed. With pound and euro weight both up. Dollar Swiss down, obviously. New Zealand Swiss down, obviously, and Aussie Swiss down, obviously. So overall, if you add that all up, it confirms that the Swiss weight is up. The buyers in Swiss are happy. The sellers are not happy, right? The sellers here are not happy. The sellers here in Swiss CAD would not be happy, etc., etc. Now let's go over to the yen indexes, the yen index, the Aussie, and the New Zealand to see why we're doing Swiss Aussie yen shorts. We have had an attempt on some of these yen shorts last week. That didn't work. We were too early. We had to reverse it. This time we're going to get it right. We'll look at the yen first. Let's do that. All right, yen index here. All right. All right, so we know we only want to be a buyer in these, right? See, USD was down though. When I write this, it's a reminder. Now, what I've done is I've gone back through and I've seen whenever this happens, it still pulls back. So you don't have to be worried, but don't try to target below the lows. You would be looking to target back to balance if they're both strong, for instance. Okay, so there's no question with these guys here that this is up. Okay. This is up, but slash sideways. You know, it's came down here, sideways, going up. Right. Same deal here. Sideways. So that would make sense with the fact that the Aussie and the New Zealand are weight is down. They wouldn't be as strong as the other ones. So we're happy to do a sell on the New Zealand and the Aussie if this makes sense to us, right? But so far, just looking at this, it doesn't. We have to go over to the Aussie and the New Zealand to see this next part collectively. That's the only way to do it. We have to collectively view everything, then collectively view them against one another individually again. Up, up, and up. Okay. So we're expecting, with the pound weight being up, it to have a stronger move up, okay, than the Aussie and the New Zealand. Wherever they've gone here. Because of the weight collectively when we viewed the Aussie was down. So that means the profitable Aussies are selling. Okay, if there's any buyers in Aussie, they will have no choice but to liquidate. Okay, so if we collectively look at the Aussie index right now, we'll try to find some buyers who will need to exit their positions. So let's do that. Okay, Aussie index is here. Collectively, we view the index, it's down. Okay, the profitable people are selling. Okay, any buyers involved in the Aussie index will need to liquidate their positions at this point to make up for their loss, if we can find any. Okay, Aussie yen is going up, which would suggest we can indeed take a sell at least back into balance. At a minimum, even though it's that strong. So below, maybe the others can hold. This can come down here and boom. And then we'll look to buy it again later. We'll go across the other Aussies and just verify why the index is down. And we saw those two are down. A Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie, obviously we have to look at them backwards. Okay, so this is good. Okay, this is good, right? They're profitable from back here, wherever this moving average from this particular time perspective we are looking at it, viewing at this current time, tells us. So that equals Aussie down. That's helping that. We've got 1 checked off, 2, 3 checked off, while this is going the other way. While now we have a sideways Aussie dollar. If we look a bit back here, you do know it's coming down. But currently, what we can see is sideways to down. Our original moving average is coming down, so I would be more bearish on this to middle, we can say. So it's still, we'll say 3 versus 1, and then one that's ranging. Aussie Swiss, this is our 4th, and then Aussie New Zealand is going sideways to down. So how can there possibly be profitable buyers, okay, in the yen, in Aussie? Those are the only guys winning in that Aussie. They will have to liquidate their positions. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen. Have to happen. Now, to put the odds in our favor, if that's a good way to describe it for some of you, odds enhancers like that Sam Snyden guy used to say, well, here we'll put the New Zealand now. We'll have to look at the New Zealand, given the fact that it's the competing local currency to the Aussie, which we've already established in our other videos. It will need to follow the New Zealand, or appear that it's following the New Zealand, or New Zealand will need to appear that it's following the Aussie. So when we look at the New Zealand index, we see it's down. Great, that's good. That's what we want to see, in line with the Aussie. Okay. New Zealand dollar is sideways to down. We would kind of be expecting this to up, maybe. So we've got 1 down. Sideways. 2 down. Okay. Pound is the other way around, obviously, so is Euro. 4 down and 5 down. And this would be New Zealand Aussie is down / sideways, which would be, if it's in New Zealand, it would mean it's up / sideways. So New Zealand seems to be stronger than the Aussie currently. Now, if we've now confirmed that the New Zealand should not be able to go up against anything, and if it has, well, those guys are going to have to be neutralized also. It can go against the Aussie. We're not going to play with that, right? We're not going to mess with that. We're going against something where we know for sure that the weight is up or down, whatever we know about the other currency. We'll avoid, that's the same thing for Euro, Pound, and Dollar, CAD. We use those to help us, as they are also locally competing currencies. So we got the sellers here are profitable, they're happy. Okay, the sellers here are okay. Okay, the sellers here, New Zealand Pound, are happy. Same with Euro New Zealand. Okay. Now, when we look at New Zealand Yen, we're going to see that we have a sideways deal with market being up. Okay, while the rest of the market, the New Zealand has profited going down. Okay, so these guys will have no choice but to also exit their positions, as they're the only profitable longs. So that lines up with the Aussie. Yeah, that's that. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about today. The other thing was here. This was from yesterday. Oh, this was New Zealand. We didn't take the New Zealand dollar though. So we're adding everything up here in the room. This was our pound yen trying to come up here. We came up here. We've got out now, given the fact that we've seen this situation with Aussie and New Zealand, which will force a pullback. It doesn't mean to say that this might do an overshoot and then down and then up, but for now I'm not going to mess with that. This was the Swiss yesterday, euro. Okay, as you can see, we've got the writing on there before it happened. This is not after the fact. This is the pound from yesterday that we took in the room. Target number 1, target number 2. And that is obviously again subject to maybe if there's another pullback somewhere, then maybe we'll bail before number 2. Okay, then there's the New Zealand. It's gone up since then. And this is new, must exit here, up there from last night, because we started Just notice what was going on with Aussie. Here's where we want to go with New Zealand first, but buyers will need to liquidate. LFX is up though, so that means we're only going to target here. Okay, we pretty much just went over that. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. The Swiss is here. We've seen those. There's our trades currently. That was this morning. And that was it. So yeah, that's it, guys. I will be back with a follow-up when these guys, the Aussie and the yen, move down, and the pound and the Swiss reach the target, and then the pound and the US dollar reaches the target, and then the other thing we're going to do is another trade later on. So I might have another video tonight. But cheers, guys. Thanks.
Trust in fate when the mind attacks you with illusions and the world seems to be crumbling. Trust in intuition, the whisper of truth that only you can hear and feel. Trust in your vision when the whole world does not see, when you are afraid to open your eyes. Trust in your noble heart when pain runs through your soul. Trust in the invisible forces, the ones who guide you through the labyrinth of this realm. Trust in vulnerability, the subtle force that opens your heart and connects you with the world. Trust in friends. Understand that they are human, imperfect in many ways. Trust in patience when the world is moving fast and nothing seems to be in flow. Trust in fate when the sky above you is falling. It's never too late to trust in yourself and to trust in fate.
Nobody do